a major problem. And you know, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know.
Those deadbeats.
But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. They did much the same thing with quiet quitting, where you can go to work and do less. And if you call it quiet quitting, it's somehow better.
Notice how her eyes don't move. She's not freestyling here. She's reading from a script.
But Laura, I got to tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And therein lies a big part of the problem.
Well, we don't really talk about what the real problem is, and the real problem is that women aren't worth it. Once again, I think you say what you want about Andrew Wilson. She's still stinging from that Pierce Morgan thing. This right here, this is her catharsis from when Andrew Wilson said, "Well, what do guys get out of it? What's the payoff?" Right. And Turd Flinging Monkey and I have been talking about this, and TFM's been talking about this way longer than I have. So credit, hat tip, credit where it's due. What's the payoff? What's the upside? Duty. So the thing that gets me is, and I think probably Tomi Lahren would probably like crumble. She would melt under this question. But the thing is like, you're talking about something that's reciprocal, right? So she's talking about, for men, they have to get off their ass, get out of mommy's basement, right? Like how many guys live in their mom's basement? Like population wise, like go outside, touch cement, touch grass, whatever. Look around you. Like I think most guys are either they're unemployed, but they're underemployed for sure. They're just doing they're subsistence farmers, right? They're doing whatever it takes to get by. These guys are just doing whatever it takes to pay the rent. They still got to pay the rent. They still got to pay the internet bill. They still got to pay their phone bill. They got a car. Still got to pay insurance. In fact, a lot of people were arguing, and I would agree this is definitely a factor, but it's money. It's jobs. It's like what like, do you guys remember? Because I sure as fuck do. Do you remember when she had her meltdown in 2020? It was August of 2020. I did a full I think 2 or 3 hours dedicated to her Instagram meltdown. And these older guys are only interested in Tatiana's, right? They're the guys she wanted to marry, the guys she wanted to start a family with, the guys that were worth her fucking while weren't interested in her. That was the whole shtick. And when you go and you look, I really should. I have never done this, but I am really tempted to do this. Do a breakdown video of one of my videos. Do a breakdown video of the video response I did to Tomi Lahren's meltdown video in 2020. That was actually the first time I got the call from Dr. Phil. They wanted to put me on with, it was going to be me, Dr. Warren Farrell, which made it really kind of a sweet deal, Tomi Lahren, and then they said some other feminist professor or something like that. They were going to put a feminist professor on Tomi Lahren's side on Dr. Phil. It was more than a man could take. But I should put that on a shirt. The rational male, more than a man could take. No, it's like unbelievable how oblivious she is to her own bullshit. And this is just 5 years ago. Now she's married to the baseball player, right? Whatever his name. How you deal with that, I don't know. But you've got this chick. I also want to point out some statistics here. Like when guys don't go to school or do not enroll in college at an equitable rate as women. Now, primarily, That's because, well, most guys aren't interested. Maybe guys don't want to go to college. Maybe they see their path to life success as starting their own business or doing funnel marketing, God knows what else. There's a lot of, like, if I was a say 20, 22-year-old guy, if I was to give that guy some advice and he didn't want to go to college, I'd say, like, you have to start your own business. Then you've got to find some way you got to find a hustle. If you're not going to college, find a hustle. Maybe it's a trade school. Maybe it's the military. Maybe you want to get into, I don't know, you want to be a fireman or some shit like that. Maybe you want to be a lineman. I don't know. But you've got to find a side hustle. And I would say, if you can find a side hustle where you can, sell stuff to very rich people, then that would probably be my preference. You got to be innovative. You got to be an ideas guy. If you're not an ideas guy, go to college. But that's like, I think that education is important. I disagree with people who want to say, like, oh yeah, those colleges are just feminization, indoctrination camps, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, they are, but education is its own reward. Oh, there's Sambo. Thank you, for Christ's sake, Sam. There, now I got you. Sam, do you have a new phone? Because this is a new thread. It's weird. Anyways, getting back to Tomi Lahren. Tomi Lahren is the last person on planet Earth who should be talking about this shit. Because just in 2020, she was so upset that she couldn't find a guy who was like worth her while. So what is it, Tommy? I love how it's always like men's response, masculine responsibility to do this. To do what? To lay down as a martyr? To deal with your bullshit? Like, more and more guys are saying it's not worth it. Guys are like the juice ain't worth the squeeze. I hate to use that as a line because I know that's the MGTOW thing, but that's the attitude. And the attitude for women is well, where are the good guys? Where are the guys at? How come they're not living up to our expectations? Because the juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. Like, what's in it for them? And that's the whole thing, is like, she still can't answer that question. Like, that's what Andrew Wilson asked her. Okay, well, what do guys get in return? This fucking pussy. Right. So you've just basically reduced yourself down to your only agency, which is your sexuality. How about I get a woman who has insight? How about I get a woman who has, is much more feminine? She's soft. She's kind. She's nurturing. Would be a good mother. She's hot in bed. Yes. She's enthusiastic in sex. Yes. She's a gym rat. She keeps herself in shape to have better sex with you, because that's important. For sex is the glue that holds a relationship together. Ladies, if you can't get that through your head, you got no business talking about how guys are low quality or whatever. If you don't understand how important sex is, not just to men, but also to women, I can't help you. Don't say it's some social thing, or men have been socialized to want these kind of girls. No, they haven't. That is how we are naturally. That is innate. That is evolved. Oh, they want these Tatianas, these girls that are just like so young and everything. So all the guys who were like, it was funny. It's classic. I remember this because this is why I did the video. She's looking for a guy who's like somewhere between like 30 and 35, because she was 28 at the time. In fact, it was on her birthday. She had just turned 28, or it was the day before her birthday. And she was just panicking because she was in the epiphany phase. She knows she can't compete with her younger self. And her younger self is manifested in the Tatianas. That's what she said in the video. Right. Her words, not mine. I don't make this shit up. I just report the news. I just work here, man. Yep. She's too old. She is too old. The milk done spoiled. Yeah. The ice cream's been licked many times. Oh shit. You guys are funny as fuck today. Anyways, so she's, I also want to point this out. I wonder if I can still find this. I probably still have this somewhere. I meant to dig this up. I apologize for not digging it up earlier. But I sent this to Aaron Clary. There is let's see if I can find it. There is a graph of who pay, like which sex pays back their student loans most regularly. Which one do you think it is, guys? There we go. Data images. Let's see if I can find it. I found it. Got it. Okay, here, let me grab this and put it as an overlay. Hang on. This is going to be good. Please stand by. This is too good not to put on your to put on the show. This is from 2023. Okay, I believe this is Forbes. There you go. To 2009 through 2023. There we go. The original amount. There you go. Women don't pay off shit. Men pay off all of their student loans. What do you got to say to that, baby? What do you got to say? Oh, those lazy deadbeat sons of bitches, they're not going to school. Well, at least they're paying their debts back, which is more than I can say for women. You want to know why that's that's the carrot at the end of the stick for what is it? Paying back a student loan easement or whatever it is Biden wanted to throw out there. It was basically a stimmy check for women because women hold the most student debt of any sex. Women hold I think it's is it 2 trillion? Something like that. And then women hold something like 70 some odd billion. I have those stats too. I have those numbers as well. But yeah. Oh, we're going to school. We're better than you men. Okay. And what's in it for the guy? Here's the thing that gets me. Especially Tommy's kind of woke me up to this. Women like Tommy Lahren want that traditional conservative, traditional sort of Judeo. I know you're not supposed to use Judeo, but Judeo-Christian template for life, right? Men have a masculine duty to give women a better life. That's why when I tweet out, men, gentlemen, you do not owe women a better life, I put that on there. Women lose their fucking minds. And guys who are sort of allies, sympathizers, Vici males, those guys, they'll find, well, what about your mom? You don't know her a better life either. It doesn't mean you can't give her one, but it's not incumbent upon you to do so. What about your sister? What about your daughter? Nope, doesn't apply to them either. But if you want to, if you feel you have masculine duties to do so, but you don't. I don't have to support my mother-in-law, which I do. And I'm happy to do it because I love her. I retired my wife 5 years ago from her. She's retired early because of me. So you know what, baby, you don't have to work anymore. We'll find some, she was only working for medical insurance anyways, right? The kind of money she was making was not even close to what I make. And that's not a flex. I'm just saying, we live comfortably, but we're not like Jay Waller comfortable. But I do it because I want to. I do it because it's not because I feel like I owe them anything. It's because I love them and I'm happy to do it because I think it's worthwhile. Remember what I talk about when I talk about, enlightened self-interest, right? I can't help others until I can help myself. And I can't help others as well as when I help myself first. So it's me first. And then I decide who's worthwhile. Well, my mother-in-law is worthwhile. Ned, definitely worthwhile.